Hi, and welcome back to Understanding Real Estate Contracts. And this is form number 3, which is Disclosure of Representation in Trading Services. This form is intended to let you know what you get when you're working with a realtor, what their obligations are to you, and what you don't receive if you're in fact not working with a realtor or you're an unrepresented party. In the first section, it describes what a client is and what an unrepresented party is. A client is someone who works directly with a realtor, relies on their advice, and receives direction from that realtor. An unrepresented party is one who gets no representation, who gets no information, no knowledge, and no insight from their realtor. There's a benefit to representation, and a couple of the key components of that are you get expert advice from your realtor. Your realtor, in this case me, has been doing this job for almost 20 years. Where I've established enough knowledge to enable me to help you and guide you through this transaction. You also get protection, through the Real Estate Services Act, where they are obligated to protect the consumer through that act. There's also a little bit of oversight in that the Real Estate Council is in place to make sure that realtors are behaving as they should as realtors and giving you the right service. On the second page of this form, we start talking about what you actually do get as a client and what you don't get if you're an unrepresented party. The 4 major components are loyalty, avoiding conflict of interest, fully disclose all relevant information, and protecting your confidentiality. Loyalty, well, that's pretty clear. We have to be loyal to you and respect you and look out for your best interests. Any conflict of interest means that we can't represent another party. If we were, it'd be hard to represent one party and not be biased. So that's where we look at it and we try to stay. We're only going to represent one party, and that avoids any conflict of interest. We'll also inform you if there's anything like a change in commission or anything like that that may change our motives to some degree. That's something that you should know. Full disclosure of all relevant information. We'll let you know everything we know about this property, everything we know about the people selling, everything that we're allowed to tell you that is not deemed confidential to somebody else. But we will in turn protect your confidentiality. Everything that you tell us, your motives or your actions, your desires to be this house that might have a negative impact on your negotiation, we won't tell anybody about that. We'll make sure that we only use that information to help us negotiate the best price on the property you're trying to acquire. As an unrepresented party, nobody owes you any loyalty. So if there was an unrepresented party and I was the realtor representing the other party, I would owe no obligation to that other client to not disclose what I found out about them to my client. There's no duty to avoid conflicts. If I'm getting paid way more to do something else, I don't have to tell that person because they're not represented. I'm not giving them guidance. There's no full disclosure. If I know something about the property, I don't have to tell them because they, again, are unrepresented. And of course, no confidentiality. Anything they tell me, because they're not represented, I'm legally allowed to. And in fact, I owe it to my client to tell them the information if it's going to impact this transaction. So as a client, there are a couple of options. One is you can have a designated agency, which is where your contract is with me. I'm representing you on behalf and through McDonald Realty. The other scenario is that you could be a client of a brokerage, in which case you've got a brokerage agency agreement where all realtors within McDonald Realty would all be representing you. It does create a bit of a challenge in that case, and that's not the path that normally we go down, nor do any brokerages that I'm aware of. In this case, and in all cases that you're probably going to deal with, you'll be dealing with a designated agency agreement. The final 2 pages on this form basically are your acknowledgement. This page that I'm going through now, which is the 3rd page, identifies that I have told you about the things that are important on this form. I've given you and provided you with the Disclosure Representation Services form. I've explained my special legal duties to you, and I've explained the risks of being an unrepresented party. When I sign this, it acknowledges that I'm accepting you as a client, and that's where I sign. The next part of this contract is for you to sign. Now, there is no mandatory requirement for you to sign this form. However, our office and our brokerage does require that our clients do sign it in some way, shape, or form. What that means is you can acknowledge, yes, I've told you about the special legal duties. You can check yes again that confirm that I've disclosed the differences between a client and an unrepresented party. You can check yes again, that I've confirmed that I've told you about the risks of being an unrepresented party. Finally, you can choose to be a client represented by me, a client represented by McDonald Realty, or to be an unrepresented party. As you can see, in this circumstance, we're going to be dealing with a designated agency. So that's the box that would be checked. By signing this, you're acknowledging that you've agreed to be a represented party, that you agree and understand that you've been presented with the form, and that you understand all aspects of the form. Should you have any questions about this or any other forms we're dealing with, feel free to call me 604-892-8155, or you can email me simon@simonhudson.ca. Looking forward to making this transaction go through for you. Have a great day.